Your Excellency, Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings, leader of the revolution, permit me to write on the protocols earlier established by previous speakers. June 4th is recognized in NDC Constitution as Accountability Day. And we will continue to celebrate it so long as the NDC lives. We are celebrating it because we owe a duty not only to ourselves and to the party, but to our country, Ghana. Because June 4th is a significant part of the history of this country. And those who read history and they don't learn lessons from history to direct the course of the future are doomed to repeat history. And so we feel that it is very important that this day is commemorated so that the young and upcoming ones would understand what brought about June 4th and then take lessons from June 4th to guide the course of our country so that we do not keep repeating the history. When we talk about accountability, what are we talking about? Accountability is the foundation of representation. In the past, we were having direct democracy where we all meet and decide what we want. But as time went on, representative democracy emerged. So representation means the people who are in power are governing through borrowed sovereignty. And therefore, they owe it a duty to always account to the people who are the actual owners of the sovereignty. So we see accountability happening in the business field. All of us know that when shareholders give power to leadership of companies, there are times when the shareholders will meet and call the leadership to come and account for the resources they have put in their care. Much the same way, every leader, political leader, must see his leadership as operating with the powers that has been borrowed from the masses. And so that is the reason why there is always accountability and accountability day. In democracy, elections constitute the main form of accountability to the people who give leaders power at the time of elections. And in subsequent elections, the leaders will account for how they have used the power. And if it is the wish of the masses, they continue. If, in the opinion of the masses, the leadership has abused the power, then they have the right to replace them and put in place a new set of leadership. So any democracy in which the main means of accountability is blocked, then that democracy is headed for trouble. We saw it in June 4th. There were conditions precedent that necessitated the uprising in June 4th. Earlier speakers have spoken about the broken economy. And I would like to add that the nation had a government that has actively blocked all means of peaceful change. And as it has been said by earlier philosophers, change is the only constant in nature. So human beings cannot block change. But it is up to us to direct change to be either peaceful or violent. It has also been said that those who block peaceful means of change are surely inviting violent ones. This is the law of nature. And so we will do well to learn the laws of nature and try to operate by them as a country if we need to move forward. Those who didn't know, the Achampong Akufo administration at that time blocked all means of changing the circumstances that Ghanaians were living in. They were fully aware of the frustrations, but they decided to hang on to power. At some point, they fabricated a concept called union government and tried to ask the opinion of people whether we wanted union government or not. The referendum that was to facilitate that opinion was also rigged. And so when they rigged the election, they thought that they had power and they pretend to give us voice. Then they rigged that voice too and pronounced themselves as being in power because of the wishes of Ghanaians. It didn't stop the change because nothing stops change. May 15th came, where the frustrations of Ghanaians began to be let out. Again, those who were in power were adamant. They thought that change can be stopped by brute force. So when the leader of the revolution was arrested, as has been counted by our previous speakers, he said that leave my men alone and deal with me. And if you eliminate one J.J. Rawlings, you have thousands and thousands of J.J. Rawlings coming up. In other words, he was saying in parables that he is not the problem. The people who are trying to speak out are not the problem. The problem is the rotten society. That something needed to be done to rescue the country. So, as we celebrate June 4th, we don't just, shall I say, well, I don't know whether it's celebration, but I would prefer to call it commemoration. As we commemorate June 4th, we should go back, look at the situation that led to June 4th, and learn lessons from June 4th. Otherwise, we will be doomed to repeat June 4th. So all of us who are happy and willing to protect the democracy, we must speak up and do something about the disease that is affecting the democracy. That is the only way we can save this democracy. Some courageous people are speaking. And again, the powers that be thinking that those who are advising are the problem. They've started using the same intimidation and the methods they applied earlier on, which did not stop June 4th. Are we not learning lessons from our history? I want to use this platform to call on all well-meaning Ghanaians that this is the time to speak up. Because already people are drawing parallels between what is happening now and what happened prior to May 15 and June 4th. But we can save our democracy. And the only way we can save the democracy is to speak up and stop the bad things. Otherwise, whoever does things the same way they have been done in the past and expects different results is certainly not correct upstairs. So let us learn lessons from our history, and so we can change the course of our future. Some other big opinion leaders have decided to be quiet for fear of intimidation. But this is the time where you have to get up and be counted as a true patriot who wants to save the democracy we are in and to shape a future that will help us avoid a June 4th scenario. Because we cannot keep going forward and going back. We must learn from where we fell so that from lessons from that, we can chart a better future and prevent the situation where we fall in the pits that others have fallen in. There are others who are quiet. They have declared themselves neutral. But as a citizen, as an active and good citizen of this country, you will not do this country a lot of good if you keep quiet. You cannot declare yourself neutral between good and evil. It is dangerous. We better put in our voices so that the wrongs will be corrected now, in order that we don't suffer the punishment of wrongdoing. Ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, I would want to tell our leadership that those who want to help you, they tell you the truth. Those who want to help themselves, they tell you what you want to hear. If somebody wants something from you, he will come and tell you all the pleasant things so that he can get what he wants. That person is helping himself. He's not helping you. So listen to those who are speaking. They are not your enemies. They are the people who are helping you so that we can together protect this our democracy and make sure that Ghana would have a democracy based on accountability, based on a situation where the government would a free and fair opportunity for them to change their leaders or maintain their leaders. Any other thing will just create a situation for a violent change, because it has been said, it's not me who is saying it. You go read the history books, that those who block peaceful change invite violent change. Finally, we are in a country where the lawmakers who make laws and think that the laws are not applicable. That is dangerous for our democracy. COVID-19 has come. Parliament has empowered the President of the Republic to take all emergency measures necessary to deal with COVID-19. And some of these measures led to a total lockdown of the whole Accra city and Kumasi. With some of these measures, when a positive case is detected in any institution, that institution is completely closed down to prevent a situation where the disease will spread. So you close down the institution, isolate those who have been affected, and take measures to sanitize the workplace to ensure that we can contain the disease. What are we seeing now? The fish processing factory, where positive cases were detected. What happened? They closed down the factory. The wards of several hospitals in the country, where positive cases were detected among frontline staff, they had to close down certain wards. Now we are told that 13 cases have been detected in Parliament, and Parliament is still sitting. What are they telling us? Why is Parliament not closing down? Is Parliament above the laws they themselves make? Is that the democracy we are making for ourselves? Ladies and gentlemen, everybody has a responsibility to protect this democracy, and the only way we can do it is that we must insist on rule of law. There is nobody independent in this country of the law. The only people who are independent are the masses who are the repository of the sovereignty of Ghana. All other institutions, be it the presidency, electoral commission, parliament, judiciary, whatever, you are all subject to the one and only constitution of the Republic of Ghana. If we learn to behave that way, we will save this democracy. May God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make us great and strong.